Do you want to get better at Arc Raiders? Well, here are 33 tips that will improve your gameplay, performance, and even loot. If you have any additional tips to help your fellow raiders out, drop them in the comments below and do a like while you're at it. If we've helped you with anything here, as we've spent a ton of time playing and testing things to bring you some actually useful tips. First up, let's talk about the ledge grab technique to mitigate fall damage. If you want to get down from any height very quickly without taking a bunch of damage or instantly dying, you can actually mantle on ledges to completely break your fall. This works insanely well from most heights, and if you want to practice, you can do it in the firing range where you can go up the zipline here to try it over and over until you get it down. Next, did you know that the melee weapon actually has two different types of attacks for different situations? If you left click, you'll do a horizontal sweep, while right click will do a vertical chop. This makes it much easier to target things above you with the right click version, and the left click version makes it easier to sweep enemies in front of you at the same level. Now, something that it seems many players are missing out on is the emotes in the game, as they actually make sounds and have preset voice lines that are projected to other players. So you can do things like ask to team up, or plenty of other voice lines that lets other players know you're friendly if you don't have a mic. You can actually toggle the loudness of these voice lines with the on-screen button, which is K on mouse and keyboard. This can cycle between loud and subtle, changing how far away people can hear you. One of the best and funniest things that you can enable is the Raider Voice Beta. This changes your voice to something completely different. For example, here is how my voice sounds in-game using this.
You guys looking for anything specific? I'm looking for mushrooms and prickly pears.
Honestly, yeah, I'm looking for power cables. You got any of those?
I got my wires, but I don't know what's the color of it.
It's blue.
Well, as you can see, it is awesome, and more games should have this option. If you want to enable it, go into Settings in Audio, scroll to the bottom and enable the Raider Voice Beta, and then toggle it to Voice Heard by Everyone and select the voice that you want to use. Next up, it's good to know you really should be using the adrenaline shots when your stamina is low, as it will give you a full bar and some time to sprint for free. This is an amazing item to take on raids, it doesn't cost a lot to craft, and it's even better earlier when you don't have those stamina skills, so make use of adrenaline shots. Next up, if you're ever extracting or near an extraction point and you get downed because of a PvP fight or an Arc robot, it's good to know if you can make it onto the computer in the extract, you can actually interact with it and still get away just like this. Next, if you're on controller and you want to select multiple items, just hold down the left trigger and press A. This allows you to sell multiple things at once. You can also select stacks of an item and press the X button to move half of it. This allows you to split stacks quite easily, and you can see the prompts at the bottom of the screen. Now, something that we weren't making use of but is great to have as pocket knowledge is knowing that you will not only sprint faster when you put your weapons away, but you're also able to jump further, meaning if you sprint and jump without a weapon in your hands, you can cover some pretty big gaps. Now, if you're using a free loadout and need some additional healing items because you're running low, if you have the in-field crafting skill, which you can get pretty early on, you can actually craft bandages from fabric that you find. Alongside this, you can even use the power cells from downed Arc drones to recharge your shields. These Arc power cells can be easily looted from regular drones like wasps, and an easy way to farm these without wasting ammo and making too much noise is to bait them to come close to you. This is easiest done if you have a corridor or a piece of cover to hide in so they get close. Then jump and vault on top of them. This lets you melee them with your pickaxe without taking any damage and is just a super fun way to farm them. Now, one of the best things you can unlock early is the Gunsmith workbench. It only takes 20 metal and 30 rubber parts, so if you stack those, you'll be able to upgrade and craft a variety of weapons using them, which will increase your chances in PvP and against those Arc machines. Also, the practice range is a great place to get used to many of the mechanics in the game. It has shielded and unshielded raiders that you can test each weapon on, which you can easily find in boxes nearby. You also have Arc bots that you can practice shooting the weak points, so get training in here. Another more common traversal tip is that you're able to avoid damage when falling if you roll just as you land. This is amazing as you don't get the animation lock of taking damage, meaning if you're in a fight, you're ready to respond as soon as you finish the roll. Another traversal tip that will gain you a ton of height and allow you to climb up things that you normally can't reach is that you can use the barricade by placing it directly below you and then spamming the mantle button or the jump button to instantly vault on top of it as it deploys, which is a great trick to reach higher up places. Now if you're looking for PvP, something you can do to bait teams into coming to you and make a trap is by using the remote raider flares. This is a deployable that when triggered will send up a flare that is the same flare as a downed player. You can send it off and wait for those ratty third-party bandits to fall into your trap, and you can even craft these from the utility workbench with just a few raw materials. And talking about raw materials, you will want to stack as many metal parts as possible, as these become very useful as you get further in the game. They're essential for crafting things like guns and other gear that you will need as things get harder. And another item that you will want to pick up and stockpile is the seeds. While these don't look like anything special, they're actually amazing as they can be traded in the vendor hub for a variety of materials and other items at a very good conversion rate. Now don't make this mistake as you could be missing out on a ton of XP. You see, even if everything has been looted in the area you're in, if you still interact with each search pile, you'll get additional scavenging XP, which gives you up to 200 XP per container, and so if you're playing with friends or you've gone into a looted zone, loot everything, even what each other has looted, as this will rack up XP for you. This will give you some easy levels, getting you better gear and access to the newer maps. Now, in any extraction game, one of the most productive things you can do is to upgrade your stash, as this allows you to store more items, particularly valuable ones, but more importantly, it lowers your downtime and inventory management between raids, so you can just dump everything into your stash and go back out. You don't want to be that teammate that's holding everyone up, trying to find space, so get upgrading your stash. And if you are struggling with inventory management, there's a few things you can do to speed up the process. At the top of the inventory screen, there's a button for merging items together. This is great for freeing up space and making things easier to manage. Also, as you may be aware, you can unload your whole backpack at the end of a raid, which is a super quick way to dump all of your items into your stash. And if you miss doing it at the end of a raid, there's also an offload backpack button here in your stash menu that you can make use of. Another thing that will increase your survival is having attachments on your weapons, as these increase things like your mag size, your handling, and reduce your spread, making them essential for success depending on the weapon you bring. A quick tip is that you can actually click on this button in the inventory screen to narrow your stash down to only attachment items, making it very easy to find and sort through them. Next up, it's good to know you may want to have squad fill set to off. While it may be tempting to have a full squad even if it is someone random, it can actually be better to queue solo and duo, as the game matches you with teams of similar sizes, so solos are more likely to fight solos and duos are more likely to fight duos. Currently, people are saying that generally people are super friendly in solos, and in 3-man squads they're not so much friendly, so give duos or solos a try if you're struggling with PvP. Next up, if you are taking your own loadout into a raid, something you might want to consider doing is taking multiple shields. This is because you can hot swap your shields by changing them and dragging them in your inventory. This will then instantly start recharging your shield with the new one to its maximum capacity. There's obviously downsides to this as the shields weigh a lot, but if you're focusing on just PvPing, this is something to consider, as that quick swap can make a difference, as it doesn't make noise or need any time to apply a shield regen item. As this is a third-person shooter, something that you can take advantage of is the ability to peek around or over cover without exposing yourself. Just sit near the edge of cover, but so you are still behind it, and then rotate the camera so you can see the enemy, but they can't see you. This is a much safer way to observe other players or to engage them in a fight. Now, here are some of the best settings that you can change to make your experience better and improve your performance. Another setting that will give you a massive edge in combat is being able to see even more on your screen. So what you want to do is increase the field of view from the default 60 to the maximum 80. Of course, you can set it to your preferred range, but 80 is very good for seeing more things around you. And while the next setting isn't essential, as the game does already run and look pretty good, extra frames does mean a more responsive game, so if you want to boost your performance, you can turn down the global illumination setting and the particle effects for a significant boost in your frame rate. Also, if you're using a newer RTX card, you can turn on something like DLSS 4 for a better render. On top of that, if you're having trouble with the default crosshairs, Well, a lot of people like customizing it to a better shape or color. In the settings in accessibility, you can toggle the override crosshair, its shape, letting you add a center dot, change its color and thickness, and more, so you can really customize it to your preference. Now let's get back to the gameplay. If you're playing in a group, something great to know is that objectives are shared. So if one player does the objective, the whole party will get credit, meaning that you can split up to complete things faster. Since we're on the topic of objectives, something that is simple but useful to know is that you can click on the main menu quest track on the left side of the screen in order to start and hand in quests. This is much faster than having to go through the trader menu and click on all the different tabs. Now, stamina can be a really big problem early game, but a great tip to know is that you can slide to regen stamina. This is obviously really good when you're going down a hill as it massively reduces your downtime and again regens stamina as you do the slide. Next, breaching is of course very stressful, but you don't need to commit to it in one go. You can actually cancel it and then come back to it and it will save any progress you made. This is great if you're getting pushed by an enemy team, and in addition to this, you can rotate the camera while you do it. If you do a breach at the very edge of a breach door or object, you can actually turn and watch your own back, even if you're playing solo. Next, remember that elevators aren't the only way to get out in a raid, as you can use raider hatch keys to get out instantly. They are relatively cheap as well, as they near guarantee a successful extract. You can pick them up for 9,000 coins or craft them if you have the utility bench too. Lastly, and the final tip, if you want to get out of the map and extract, you probably shouldn't ride the probes like the Ancient Knight did here. Well, thank you for watching guys, and if you have any extra tips to share, drop them down below so we can all learn those tricks together. We'll have more coming on Arc Raiders very soon, so make sure you're subscribed below as well, and we'll see you in the next one. Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 2six.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.